Hi, it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot, and it's been a while since I've made a video, and as you can see by my thumbnail, that's the reason why. So I thought I would discuss how it all came about, how I ended up with two kittens when I swore in I don't know how many videos that I've done on my channel that I would never get another pet again after we lost Oscar. And in particular that I would never get another cat again when I lost my cat Blackie, who I was privileged to have for 22 years. And I think it's coming up to 7 years in this May that I lost her. So how did it happen? Well, my husband's been wanting another dog for quite a few months now, and Oscar's been gone for 2 years now. So on Halloween we lost him 2 years ago. And he's actually after a what are they called? A blue staffy, which his boss actually is a breeder of. So it looks like we might be getting one of them later on in the year, around July, something like that. But how it all started, and now that I'm looking back, there was a whole series of little events that led up to this. So as you all know, on the 30th of October in that crystal ball, my cat appeared, and I did have, I think they're still up on my community tab. So one of them was an image of her paw. You could clearly see her paw, and then you saw an image of herself, her whole body, what I used to call her banana look. You know, she sort of pulled this funny face, and that was on Halloween. And there was a series of other animals that have come through that that I've done spirit messages for. And I think what I've done, instead of doing it every Monday, I think I'm just releasing one a month to make it easier. And so I've done all them spirit messages, I've caught up with them. I've still got a couple of people that I have to do. So that's how it started. So that was on the 30th of October. She come through, and my youngest daughter said, "Oh, that makes sense, Mum, because we used to keep her in, being Halloween, you know, being black cats, you know, people, not everybody loves cats." So I thought, okay, and I've been looking at cats, I have to admit, I've been looking at cats, but nothing ever really appealed to me. You know, there wasn't a cat that I looked at and thought, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've been to Cat Haven. It's a quite a big shelter here in Western Australia. They're always overrun with cats there. I was looking there, never really found, I just gravitated towards black cats. So I know I was just missing her, so I sort of more or less gave up on it. Then a couple of weeks ago, my stepdaughter was in a pet shop, and she took a short video of a beautiful tabby cat that was surrendered because he was playing a little bit too roughly with his rabbit brothers. And she said, "Do you want it?" And I had a look at it, and I thought, he's a really sweet little boy. He was stretching out his little paws and everything like that. And I think he was about a year old. And so I rang up the pet shop, and I was just inquiring. I rang up the pet shop, and now the pet shop from us is an hour and a half away. So what they do is Cat Haven sometimes gives cats to pet shops to sell, just to help them out, and they take care of it. Now, because I was thinking maybe after the pet shop closes, they give them back to Cat Haven, but I rang Cat Haven. They said no, once they hand them over to pet shops, that's it. So I inquired if they could at least hold the cat, because it was an hour and a half away from where we live, so I could at least have a look at it. And she said, "Oh no, we don't do that." And I said, "What about if I pay for it?" Because it was a really nice looking cat. He looked really, really friendly. And I said, "What about I pay for it? And then I can fill out the paperwork," because they want to make sure that you're not a renter, because a lot of people unfortunately have to surrender the animals. Because here in Australia, housing is getting really bad for people who rent. And a lot of the landlords, they're just greedy pigs, to be honest. They put up the rent, or they sell the house, because they want to get more money. But mostly they've been putting up the rent, and they don't let animals into their new homes. And a lot of our pets get separated. So that was one of the conditions. So they wanted to, look at ID and all that sort of stuff, which I can totally understand. But I was a little bit, I said, look, I live in Two Rocks, so I'm not going to, travel for an hour and a half later, and then you've already sold the cat, sort of thing. But they wouldn't do it. So I said, oh, forget it, just leave it. And Aaron said, we'll look on Gumtree. So I think Gumtree, for you people in America who watch me, I think it's Craigslist, and Gumtree is Australia's equivalent. So we've been looking on Gumtree for a long time. We were looking at dogs, and before you say about going to shelters, we've been to shelters quite a few times looking at dogs, and they've all got such serious issues. Like a lot of them really have some serious issues. And there was a lot of complaints about, I won't name names, but a particular shelter that's quite well known, and they won't let you adopt a dog if you don't intend keeping it inside and practically sleeping in your bed all the time, you know. And these are big dogs. Some of them are big dogs, right? So, you know, there's a bit, and a lot of other people can't get in contact. They ring up and they don't answer their phone, and it's just really hard to get a shelter dog. Where I live here in WA, a lot of them got a lot of issues. I'm still recovering from cancer, so I haven't got, you know, I can't really devote myself to a dog that's going to have a lot of issues type of thing, you know. I want, if we're going to get a dog, we want to have a well-balanced one, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm talking about some major issues, you know, biting and things like that, jumping the fence, and, you know, I just can't deal with that. And I'm still not really 100% on wanting to get a dog, but I'm opening up my heart towards it. So anyway, so I've been looking, and of course I've been looking at Cat Haven, but again, some of them do come with issues. You know, it has to only be an inside cat, which I've got no problem, because these boys are going to be inside cats. But some of them have got the what's it called, F5V or HIV or something like that. And I'm just a little bit weary with what's happened to me. You know, I've got to be careful that I don't get sick from a cat, basically. So some of them have got some issues. Some of them very skittish. You only can be a one cat household, or they can't have dogs and can't have young children and things like that. So, you know, I always kept an open mind. I kept looking at the shelters, but I wasn't finding anything. So I looked on Gumtree, and these two little kittens were there, and they were local. And that's another thing. I didn't want to travel like for 2 hours. And that's another reason why I forgot to mention about Cat Haven as well. They do include, when you adopt them, they include the desexing and the microchipping, and all their vet care is taken care of if they've got some health problems. But the trouble is, you have to use their vet. So, you know, so you're talking about a 2-hour round trip every time they need to have a needle or something like that. And I'm not going to do that. I don't want to travel that long with a cat in the car, basically. So anyway, so I was looking at Gumtree, and then I saw these two little guys pop up. And I was looking at them, and I thought, gee, they're cute. And I looked at the black one, and I thought, he looks really scared. You know, he looks really skittish. And then I looked at the white one, and then I thought, he looks fine. You know, he looks fine. And I said to Aaron said, do you want to go and have a look at them? And I said, oh, I don't know. You know, I was still arming and ahhing and everything like that. And I decided to do a tarot reading. Talking to my cat, asking about it. And if one of the first, I'm not going to go through all the cards, but there's two that are quite significant. And one of the, so I was using the pagan, Tarot of the Pagan Cats, because I've always used that deck to communicate with her. And as you know, with my spirit readings, I use that deck quite a lot. It's a good deck. And I was asking her some questions. And one of the first things I said is, well, did you send them to me? And I got a clear kind of yes, you know. And asked if I was ready to have another cat, and I actually got the 10 of Wands, and I thought straight away, no, I'm not ready. And I thought, look, hang on, let's ask some more, and, you know, ask some more questions, sort of thing. So I was asking some questions, and one of the questions I did ask, which I never ask, it's a health question, but one of the things I was worried about is that if the cancer comes back and I die, and these little guys are going to be, you know, we get another pet, and they're going to wonder what's happened to me, you know, because a lot of the pets too, unfortunately, in Cat Haven are from owners who have passed away, or they've had to move into retired homes, and they can't take them with them. And so I asked the question, is it going to come back? And you know, it's not something I would ever recommend anyone doing. I never ever do health readings unless sometimes come up. But I actually got the 4 of Pentacles, and I thought, well, no, I'm on top of it now. It's not going to come back. But what really struck me, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but we've got the fish, and we've got the milk jug in there, and the other one is a dove, and the other one is a butterfly. And I thought, no, I'm on top of it, as long as I keep eating healthily and exercising, which is exactly what I'm doing. So I thought that was a terrific card, and that was a big fear that was allayed for me. You know, I'll be okay. And one of the cards that come up with her when I was asking about, you know, about Blackie, well, I'll just show the card. Okay, so I got the Ten of Swords. And this is her, and can you see the little squiggle there down all the way there? And this is her telling me that it's time to put the grief away of me losing her, because we are always connected in spirit, which I know. I mean, I get so many signs from her. And when I saw that card, I thought, you know what, she's right. It's true. It's time to put the grief behind. It's time to let some love into my life. Not to harden my heart against having another animal. I mean, we're still fairly young. I'll be 56 this month. But my husband kindly pointed out that if we have these boys for as long as we had her, we'll be 76 when they pass away. So, you know, so that was a really big comfort to me. And, you know, there was other cards. I don't know if you're familiar. I haven't got the deck. But also that it would bring me stability. I've got the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is an actual black cat sitting on a white goat. And so it'll bring me stability. They'll keep me grounded and you know, all these sort of things. So I thought, you know what, I'll have a look at them. I still, you know, I felt good that I got her approval, and, you know, that she was saying to me that she sent them to me. So we went and had a look, and sent a message to the guy, and he was out partying, and he said, oh, not sure when he's going to be home and all this sort of thing. Anyway, he finally messaged, he'll be home at 12:30. So last Sunday we went and had a look, and I had a look at them, and I said to Aaron, if we're going to get a cat, we're going to get them both, because I think the black one is going to be just too scared without his brother. And I was dead right. He was very, very skittish, and even who we brought them for, he said that the white one's very, very friendly, but the black one he didn't even really mention. And I said, oh yeah, we're going to take them both. So we took them both, and then he let us have a cage that was broken, and we sort of kind of wedge in the cage on the top, and we run around like mad, went to the pet shop and got them beds and everything like this for them, and quickly get them home, and some good kitten food, because he wasn't feeding them correctly. He was giving them like minced up steak and stuff, you know, things that 8-week-old kittens shouldn't be eating. So we put him, I messaged my stepdaughter, who's a vet in Adelaide, and asked her what's the best food to put kittens on, because I've actually never had a young kitten like that, and I've got no idea what we're going to feed it. So she said Royal Canin. She said usually you introduce them to a new food, but because they've been eating things that they shouldn't, we just put them on straight away. He reckoned that he wormed them, but I don't think he did, because last week I took them on Thursday, get their first needles, and the salt, we call them salt and pepper, so the white one, salt, he was 700 grams, and his brother Pepper was 800 grams, and he was that skinny. She said to me she couldn't even give him the needle, you know, she couldn't find fat to stick the needle in. The poor little thing cried because he felt it, whereas his brother didn't. So the next day she said to worm them, so I've wormed them, and since I've wormed them, I don't believe he did, they've been, because they were like eating flat out, they were eating like nearly 4 times a day. Now they've just gone down as of today, which is the 1st of March, to, you know, twice a day, morning and usually around lunchtime, and sometimes at night I might give them something, because I'm not giving them any dry food, because dry food is just like poison to cats. And if you want to look up further on that, if you're a pet owner, I suggest that you watch Jackson Galaxy and how he explains how bad dry food is. Now, in saying that, my beautiful cat Blackie that I had for 22 years, she had dry food her entire life. She had milk her entire life, except towards the very end, because it made her give her the runs. She had, she used to eat hot potato chips. She used to eat anything and everything, that cat. She just ate any, and she lived a really long life. But sometimes, you know, but every cat's different, just like people. Some live a long time and some don't. So dry food is particularly bad, so I'm just getting them wet food, and they've settled in really, really well. So as you can see on my thumbnail, that's how small Salt was. He's sitting on my keyboard. I was trying to do a tarot reading, and he switched off the keyboard. Thank God it's saved. But as you can see from the one where he's stretched out, he's grown quite a bit. Pepper is much more stockier, and we think even the vet thinks he might have been the runt of the litter, Salt, because there was only 2 kittens there. So anyway, so we got 2 cats. But what I really wanted to say is, I said to him, I said, well, when were they born? And they were born on Christmas Day, can you believe it? And which is quite funny, because I saw Blackie on Halloween, and that December they were born. And I got the clear message that she sent them to me. And I think she kind of reincarnated in Salt, the white one. And this is really funny because she used to love to scratch on the couch, my old girl. And you know how they get that sashaying walk, and she used to lock eyes with Aaron walking like that. And then she'd claw the couch and still looking at him straight away until he'd tail her off, and then she used to run away. The day we got these cats home, that's exactly what Salt did. He clung onto the couch and he looked straight at my husband, and Aaron goes, "Oh my God," he said, "that's your cat." She's come back. Not only that, my cat always used to love to stick her face in my coffee mug. Salt does that all the time. He's forever got his face in my coffee mug. It's hilarious when he sniffs Aaron's bourbon and Coke, because the bubbles make his eyes squint. It looks so funny. So he does that. He does that as well. What else that he does is like her. There are so many traits that he's got that my old cat had. It's actually uncanny, and I really would not be surprised if that's her come back to me, because it's just weird. I just think it's funny how I see her on Halloween very, very clearly. They were born on Christmas Day. We tried to get that other cat, but we couldn't, and then these two turn up local, and I mean locally, so it's only 15 minutes from where I live. It was in the next town over, which is like a 15-minute drive. I consult the cards, and she was very, very clear that she sent them, but I think I think that a little bit of her is in them, because Salt is actually the little devil, that one. He's a funny little thing. He's such a smoochy cat. He loves to have a cuddle every time he has a feed. Blackie wasn't a smoochy cat by far. She wasn't. She was very independent, but she was always near me, so she was always watching me. He forever watches me as well. He's always watching what I'm doing, looking at me. The reason I can make this video now is because they're both asleep. They're both fast asleep in their little cat tree. But it's uncanny, and even Aaron's picked up on it, on how much he does things that she used to do. So that's how I ended up with 2 cats. But I also, not long before I got them, and I was still umming and ahhing about getting cats, I was actually watching Matt Fraser, the psychic. I don't watch a lot of him because he's just so full on and talks 100 miles an hour, but he actually had one about on pets. And about spirit, pets having spirit and all that sort of thing. But one thing he said that kind of struck a chord is he said that all the animals that you've ever owned, and if you get another one, they're really, really happy for you. They love you so much that they will, sometimes they'll send you other pets, sort of thing. It kind of sort of stuck in my head, and I thought, because I always thought, if I get another cat, it'll come. There'll be a reason. Blackie would send them. I always knew that she would, if I was going to be ready, and it's taken me like 7 years, but she must have thought I was ready, and then bang, they were there. She sent them before I could even change my mind. And because they didn't really have a fantastic house where they were born, that's why we took both of them, and they're so happy now. So we've had them exactly 7 days, yeah. So yesterday, Sunday, was 7 days we've had them, and they've just settled in like they've always lived here. It's amazing. I love all the little zoomies that they do. I love playing with them. They keep each other company. They've always wrestling, which I've put up on my community tab here on YouTube. But it's amazing how many things that he does that she used to do, and it's actually bringing back more memories of her and what she used to do. And now suddenly we've got two boy cats, the boys we call them, and he does so many things. But I couldn't believe it when he stuck his face in my coffee mug, because she always did that all the time. She used to stick her face in it. And also she was very good at, if Aaron was eating, she would always try to steal things off his plate. Well, he does that as well. So if we've got food, because we sitting next to each other, we've got a little table there, and we've got something on there, he just goes for the food. That's exactly what she used to do too. Absolutely. And when the vet was actually checking him out, and she was giving him little pieces of chicken. Now, Blackie used to love chicken. I used to always joke that she would actually raise from the dead if there was chicken in the house, because she loved it that much. Well, guess who loves chicken? He could not stop eating it. He absolutely loved it. He's got the better appetite, but I think he was a little bit more, I think he did have worms, even though they reckon that he didn't. But he scoffed the chicken. So I've brought some little chicken thighs, and when they're a little bit bigger, I'll boil one up, and I'm going to have that as treats in between the food. So that's another trait that he shares with her. So I'm 100% sure that she sent them to me, and I'm probably 99.5% sure that she's in that little body of his, since they have 9 lives. I think she's one of them, because, by God, he does so many things that she did. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. So here I am, a cat mama again after 7-year absence, and I'm loving it. I'm really, really enjoying it. They're a lot of fun. It keeps me on my feet, you know, as if forever sort of sweeping up their little mess, and you're changing the kitty litter and just playing with them and just enjoying them. I've really surprised. I've surprised myself, because I did swear that I was never going to get another cat, and then it was quite funny that you know things pop up on YouTube, and when Matt Fraser had about his pets, because he said he loved cats, but he suddenly got allergic to them, so he has to have Bengal cats, because a lot of people are allergic to. There's something in the Bengal that he doesn't get allergic to. So for those of you who are allergic to cats and want them, apparently you can have Bengal cats. And he was saying that, you know, when you get a new pet, they're all sort of cheering from you on the other side, that they're really happy because you gave them a lot of love, and they'd want that for the next pets, and that they often, you know, can send you some. So there you go. That's how I ended up with 2 little kittens. And I'm loving it. I'm really, really enjoying it. But it's just uncanny how it all fell into place. And Aaron, because a lot of that times it happens with us, and Aaron said it's just like it's meant to be, isn't it, again? I said, yeah. So we'll see what happens with the dog, because he really would like to get a Staffy, what are they called? Blue Staffordshire. I think that's what they're called, something like that anyway. But that's what he would like. Like what John Wick, those of you who love the John Wick movies, that dog there, that's exactly what he wants, one of them wants. And because we know the breeder, we know he's a good breeder and everything like that, shouldn't be health problems, because of course Oscar was from Pet Shop, and we're pretty sure he was a puppy from a puppy farm, and that's why he had so many health problems towards the end, really. So there you go. That's how I ended up with our boys, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. And for those of you out there who, like me, said they'll never get another pet again, probably never say never, because things happen for a reason. And cats are good healers too, you know. I love it when he purrs, that little purr, and I just actually made me a bit teary the first time I heard him purr, because I hadn't heard it for so long. I really, really enjoyed it. So there you go. Until next time, this is Tracy.